Welcome back to The Historian. Today, we're diving into the high-stakes cloak and dagger drama of the Cold War. Folks, it's going to be a wild ride. Let's get started. The Cold War started right after World War II, when the Allies stopped high-fiving each other for beating the Axis and started giving each other the side-eye. The US and the Soviet Union emerged as superpowers with very different ideas about how the world should work. Hey USSR, what's with all the communism? Hey USA, what's with all the capitalism? Winston Churchill summed it up best in 1946 with his Iron Curtain speech. An Iron Curtain has descended across the continent. Iron Curtain? I was hoping for a velvet rope. The Cold War was on, and it was a battle of ideologies. Capitalism versus communism. Freedom versus totalitarianism. Coke versus Pepsi.
Coke and Pepsi.
Both sides started stockpiling nuclear weapons like they were going out of style. It was like a deadly game of one-upmanship. Look, we've got an H-bomb. Big deal, we've got an even bigger H-bomb. To add some spice to the mix, they decided to race to space. The USSR took an early lead by launching Sputnik in 1957, the first artificial satellite to orbit the Earth. Sputnik? More like Spooknik, am I right?
Oh, like Sputnik?
What's a Sputnik, duty man?
Not to be outdone, the USA put a man on the moon in 1969. Neil Armstrong's famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," became the ultimate mic drop in the space race. Beat that, USSR! Oh wait, you can't, we're on the moon. The Cold War got seriously heated in 1962 during the Cuban Missile Crisis. The USSR decided to put nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles off the coast of Florida. It was like parking a tank in your neighbor's driveway. Hey Cuba, what's with the missiles? Oh, nothing, just redecorating. President Kennedy wasn't having any of it. He ordered a naval blockade and demanded the removal of the missiles. For 13 days, the world held its breath as the two superpowers played the most dangerous game of chicken ever. Hey Khrushchev, how about we not blow up the world? Fine, but you owe me a drink. The Cold War was also the golden age of espionage. Both sides had spies everywhere, trying to steal secrets, plant disinformation, and generally make life difficult for each other. Agent 007, your mission is to find out what they're hiding in that briefcase. Do I get a cool gadget? Yes, but try not to blow up anything important. The CIA and KGB were the stars of this real-life spy thriller. There were defections, double agents, and plenty of Bond-worthy drama. Hey, did you hear? Our spy just defected to the other side. Well, that's one way to get a vacation. The Cold War often turned hot in places like Vietnam. The US got involved to stop the spread of communism, but it turned into a long, costly, and controversial conflict. Hey Vietnam, how about some democracy? Thanks, but we're kind of busy with this civil war. Despite massive firepower and resources, the US couldn't win the hearts and minds of the Vietnamese people. The war ended with the fall of Saigon in 1975. So, did we win? Define win. By the 1970s, both sides were getting tired of the constant tension. They decided to cool things off a bit with a policy called détente. There were arms control agreements like SALT I and SALT II, and even a few friendly visits. Hey USSR, let's talk about not blowing each other up. Sounds good. How about some vodka? In the 1980s, Ronald Reagan took a hard stance against the USSR, calling them the evil empire. But behind the tough talk, there were real efforts to reduce the nuclear threat. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Fine, but you're buying the next round. The Cold War began to thaw in the late 1980s. The Berlin Wall fell in 1989, signaling the collapse of communist control in Eastern Europe. Hey Germany, guess what? The wall's coming down. About time. Now where's my hammer? In 1991, the Soviet Union itself dissolved, marking the official end of the Cold War. The US emerged as the sole superpower, and the world breathed a sigh of relief. Hey, USSR, looks like we won. Yeah, don't rub it in. The Cold War left a lasting legacy on the world. It shaped international relations, technology, and culture in ways that are still felt today. Remember the Cold War? How could I forget? We still have all those old spy movies. So there you have it, folks. The Cold War, from start to finish, filled with drama, suspense, and enough nuclear weapons to blow up the planet 1,000 times over. If you enjoyed this journey through history, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more historical hilarity. This is The Historian, signing off.